Okay, yeah, but it's not. Okay, so it's not. It's not the at that address. I gave Dr. Gardenhauer the correct address. It's portal.office.com is where you got to go to log in,
Okay.
and then that is the password.
That's my password?
Yeah.
I can't have my old password back?
Well, when I'm done migrating, I'll change it to where you can change your password.
Oh,
Right
okay,
now, I'm
so
still in
you're
the mid.
setting it
I'm
all
still.
up.
Yeah. We
I
disabled.
usually check it about once a week to make sure no one's asking me a
Yeah,
question.
we disabled it because we're in the middle of migrating. I didn't want everybody changing the password from
Okay.
in the middle.
I'm glad to know that.
So
Thank
once
you.
I'm done, you'll be able to change it just
All
fine.
right.
New gavel. I'd like to welcome everyone to the June Elizabethton City Schools Board of Education meeting. I hope everybody was able to find a seat and, dig your way in here.
crowd.
If you would, please stand. I'm going to ask Dr. Gardenauer to lead us in a moment of silence and pledge the flag.
And we'd ask tonight when we do our moment of silence to remember those who are in Florida this evening. Okay, let's have our moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to just let you know that Dr. May is on vacation with his family and with his father, so he is not here with us tonight. And I'd like to thank Mr. Isaacs for chairing the meeting last month. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's time for citizens to speak in accordance with Board Policy 1.404. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing none, we will move on. So it is time to approve the consent and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
I have several little housekeeping items, so let me find my note. Okay, here we go. First of all, if you would look from new hire list, we need to delete Lori Powell. In the leave of absence, delete Dr. Gardenauer. He is going to be getting a second opinion, so that's good. To add to transfer list, Jamie Simmerly from full-time to part-time, effective 7/1, but she's remaining in the same position. And then on item number, on the regular agenda, item number 13, Ms. Perkins changed, gave everyone the correction, which is Cisco Knoxville. And then I wanted to know if everyone would be okay if we take items 8 through 15 and vote them as one. Most of them are renewal bids. So look over those and see if you're okay with putting those together, or if you want to, any of them you want to vote on separately.
So these aren't any changes, these are all renewals bids, okay.
There's one change, number 14, there's a nickel change in
Yeah,
school club.
okay.
But otherwise, everything's pretty much the same.
Rita, one other change is my board training, TSBA board training is this Thursday,
Okay.
not June 2nd.
Oh, okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Item on the floor is to approve the consent and regular agenda with the changes made and moving, voting on items 8 through 15 as one. Can I get a motion to approve? I may have already done that. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Dr. G?
Okay, we have a lot going on this month, and I'll share a few of those things. And this evening, we have some special guests that are coming to us from Nova Copy, and we'll have a presentation from them shortly. And also, Becca Price is going to talk a little bit about what we're doing with public relations. She's really hit the ground running, so we'll have those in just a minute. Obviously, first of all, our track project is going very smoothly, and we've been down there working together to make sure. Mr. Van Huss and I have been visiting the site about every day that we've been together, so it's really moving forward. The rain stopped the progress, but up until now, we've had great weather, and we've moved very quickly through that. We anticipate that probably on or about the 15th of July, we will be completely finished there, with the exception of the fencing and the signage that's going to be placed there. So that'll be to come pretty soon, follow that. We are raising funds right now for a back-to-school bash, and we've had a lot of success. We've brought on more than 25 entities now who are really looking forward to helping our children start the school year. So just be reminded that that's July 30th. It'll be at the stadium from 10 to 1, and we'll be serving food there for everyone who shows up. We have the leadership retreat that's coming up the 29th of July, and the board is absolutely welcome to attend. Deborah Owen, our attorney, is coming to be with us for that morning for administrative retreat, and then we're really going to look at goal setting for the year in the second part of the day, starting around 1 o'clock. And so that'll be a great day for all of us to be together and look at that. All the departments will share kind of what their goals are for the year.
You said July 29th?
July 29th, and we're going to start around 8 o'clock.
Say here?
That'll be here in the boardroom. A personnel update, we're really down to custodians and bus drivers, food service, that type of thing. We've filled almost all of our certified positions at this point, and we've had a great hiring season. I can't wait for you all to meet the new people that we have hired. They are fantastic, and so we were very lucky to pick up and recruit the people that we have. One of the great things with our track, back to that, is that we will be doing an agreement with Milligan College to come on board and start using our track.
They only call me every day wanting to know how
where
it's
we are.
going.
And so they're going to come on board and really help us staff some of our meets and do that. So it's a great partnership. It's also great for our students to get exposure early in their career and really look at what they can do at a college level to have those children there all working together.
You know, one of the things Milligan's track team, especially cross country, has worked every one of the races for Josh, and they have worked the time race for us. We haven't had to hire that out, and they've really been very helpful, and I think the kids really enjoy doing that. But that's been a nice little lead-in for that.
Thank you. We did do a potable water study within the school system. We've been working with Microbac. There's if you look back in your FYI section, there's a analysis of every water fountain and those types of things throughout the system. We found one water fountain that was 11.5 parts per billion. The legal limit is 15. So we're going in and we're going to look at that one that was close. We're going to change some fittings and that type of thing, and that will bring that way down, we think. The other two are completely turned off. We had to turn them on for the water study, so we're not concerned about that because they haven't really been on probably for 20 years. So we feel very comfortable that our water is safe for our students when they're drinking during the day, and that's something that's an overall city program that we're trying to look at to make sure that across the city that we're doing a good job. And so City Hall has looked over all of our numbers, and they feel comfortable at this point too. We had information on the hospital property. They tabled it to this month, and so they thought they may have a buyer for that. So the city has put out an RFP, or will be soon putting out an RFP, to see if there's any interest before they look at our lease. So we'll be waiting for that until the time comes that they're ready to move on that. So we're just encouraging them that we have need and use for it, but also know that we want the best for the entire city. The band and music room, we received our final certificate of occupancy for that we should receive paperwork on that coming up very soon. That will come up probably the week after July 4th. So we're very close there to being completely finished. We have Lucy Calkins coming in to do some training for us, coming up for all of our teachers to support our reading and writing initiative. That's going to happen right at the very beginning of school for teachers when they get back, and we're excited about that because it will really, really help our teachers move to the next level. I have been working on a substance abuse grant, and that's something that we're going to be working with the Boys and Girls Club. We feel that there are a lot of non-punitive ways that we can help students who are suffering from substance abuse. A lot of that starts with not just student counseling, but family counseling, trying to help them, if they're having an issue with that. And so the grant will be somewhere around $95,000 is what we're writing, or what we think, to help us get some counseling for those students. The T.A. Duggar project is moving forward, and we're having a transformation over there. If the board would like to, at the beginning of next month, after the 4th is over, if you would like to come take a tour and see what's been done so far, they've completely transformed the shop area, and we've made 2 new classrooms there, and that will mean more room for students to come from the county if they would like to, or anywhere for that fact. And we'd love to take you a tour and do that, so we'll schedule that and I'll get information out to you. This weekend we had about 1,500 students come to the Jason Witten football camp that was held in our stadium, and we had nothing but positive feedback from everyone who was here. I do want to thank all the people that made that possible from the school system. There was a lot of work behind the scenes to get that ready, and then all the people that showed up to do that. One last item is that the Blue Grays are having a dedication, a historical marker put back here in the back of the central office to dedicate that field. That's going to be in the middle of July. But if anyone wants to attend, we'll have information for that event. The Parks and Rec is working along with J.C. Augustus and some of the Cedar Grove Foundation, and they're working together for that event that's coming. It's on our property, so we think that that'll be a great thing. We, of course, will be supporting them during that. All right. Thank you all for listening that long. Explanation of what's going on this month. If Nova Copy, if you'd like to come up first and talk to us a little bit about your program. All dressed up with this nice to go.
That's a left arm.
No, it's not that.
Sorry, see if it was on back there.
Mr. Wright, could you turn one of the sets of bank of lights off so we can see a little bit better?
I'm a pacer, so just bear
That's-
with me.
Perfect.
Okay, first off, I just want to thank everybody for allowing us to come in. What we look at, especially across the state of Tennessee, as well as Georgia, Texas, Missouri, we look to partner ourselves with the education. In this day and time, everybody's looking to way to cut costs. So that's where our expertise comes in play. Well, again, okay, there it goes. Go ahead, Daniel. I'm Benny Malacote. I'm the Southeastern VP of Sales and Operations. I run Georgia, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Johnson City, all of it. Next, we have Trent Stevens. He's our sales manager out of Knoxville for East Tennessee. He's on vacation this week, by the way. Then Tony Drumright, she's local. I think most of you know Tony. Next we have with us is Daniel Henderson, the guy right there. He's our solutions engineer, so he does everything as far as any solutions through the implementation on the devices. And we also brought in Jason Andrews, which is their solutions manager, regional from ACDI for the paper cut. That's a software solution that we recommend on implementation for tracking, accountability, things of that nature. The reason that what we're looking for to become business partners, we will provide an all-inclusive multifunction printer and print management solution. This will provide Elizabethton City Schools the ability to track printing across the entire organization as well as reduce cost. The solution will provide the ability to gather accurate printing, something that we have not been able to do thus far, for future budgeting concerns. The solution that we are providing is going to be it's going to save over $32,000 in the first year alone. Now, before we get into the rest of it, I just want to put a little emphasis on the paper cut solution. When we have implemented it in other cities, it's kind of like a big brother. We've seen it reduce costs by an additional 20%. I mean, these numbers are just numbers that we were given, what we had based on the minimums provided. Some information about our company. We were founded in '98. We grossed over $70 million in 2015, which means, you know, we buy in bulk is our buying power, kind of like Sam's or Costco. So what we do, we buy it up front, and then we pass on the savings to our customers. We've grown over 400% since 2002, recognized as one of the fastest growing companies in the United States. And we've been honored, I can't read that, 2017 by Business Technology Association as the National Dealer of the Year. We currently have branches in Knoxville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Jackson, Nashville, Missouri, Dallas, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia. We utilize state-of-the-art technology as GPS tracking for our technicians, which helps for response times, things of that nature. Some of the advantages that we offer to our customers and we partner with is the state-of-the-art copiers, multifunction devices, affordable document management software solutions, wide format and production, which I do believe we talked to Myra a little bit about that earlier as well, and 3D printers and scanners, which is something as we further our partnership that, you know, we can talk to a little more in detail about, even if we donate some of those pieces of equipment for the school. We've done that down in Georgia and Chattanooga as well. Printing supplies, so it doesn't matter if you print it, we provide it for you, whether it's the paper itself, whether it's inks, whether it's all media types, whatever the case is that you actually need. Our proposed solution is going to be providing benefit and value to our partners in local education. Again, if I can just highlight this for 2 seconds, what we have done is worked with the manufacturer Konica Minolta. We are their largest Konica Minolta dealer in the nation, so we've gotten special pricing that we can extend just for education purposes only. In our industry, a lot of people have the small desktop printers. HP actually came in the 80s and developed this, and it was brilliant. It's a billion dollar industry, but what we fail to realize is how we're educated on the usage. And what I mean by that, the smaller the device, the more expensive it is to run. You know, you may get into it at a cheaper price point out the gate, however, your consumables will eat you alive. For example, you can range from 5 cents up to 15 cents per page just for your black and white alone. I've seen certain models out there where you're spending 50 cents per color page, which is astronomical. As you can see here, it's just a move down the cost curve, you know, from printers converting it over to multifunction devices that are strategically placed in each school to reduce the cost. Mid-range office systems, what we're actually looking at, and the devices will range from 25 to 75 pages a minute. Scanning will be 70 to 100 pages a minute, depending on the device. Some of them will have dual scan options where it scans at the 180 pages a minute. In addition to that, you can do 11 by 17 on all of them, except for the small ones. As far as the paper cut, we do have Jason with us that will go more in detail and depth on the paper cut side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you? So the software that has been discussed to be implemented with the MFPs is called PaperCut. It's basically a print management software that, once installed on your server, is going to identify all employees within your directory and any departments you have created, so that now we've identified not only the users but also your printing devices. So the MFPs that they're going to install, all of your desktop printers that are in all of your classrooms, from what I understand, will recognize all of those. So now the software is configured so that once a user submits a job to print, it goes through your server before releasing to the device. At that point, we're capturing the data for that print, for who's sending the job, how many pages, is it color, black and white, so that you can really drill down to what your true costs are for printing to any device throughout your organization. And there's close to 90 reports that are by user, department, location, device, so that you can, after drilling down to that information on the reporting, then implement some policies to eliminate the waste. So if you want to put in a policy where maybe large jobs no longer go to the desktop printers, they now go to the MFPs, that is done automatically. You want to suggest or force documents in black and white versus color, suggest or force duplexing. Those things are enabled with the software, and they can be hard rules where it's forced, or again, they can be suggested. So the primary features of the product is the reporting by user, department, location, or device, the policies to eliminate the waste you discover within that, and then an added feature is also what we call secure print release. Find me printing. So you submit a job to print, and then you can go to any device that you have permissions to and authenticate at the device and release that job securely. So anytime in the past you've had users submit a job to maybe an MFP and they never retrieved the job, we call phantom print jobs, those are now eliminated. So that's another benefit and another way to eliminate the waste. So this is really what this slide talks about is the cost recovery, and it's again done through the reporting. You can go ahead to the next one. Go ahead to the next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was 2 more slides. Okay, there you go. So the software, just so you know, it was actually created for education. The 2 gentlemen that created the software were approached by the local high school. Printing was out of control. They had no way to identify who was printing to what devices. And so it was created for what you all do on a day-to-day basis. So we're very familiar with your setup, very experienced in this type of vertical. And actually for a large number of years, the software was only pushed to K through 12 and higher ed. So very focused on what you all do on a day-to-day basis. PaperCut's been around for about 20 years now. Countless number of education organizations have the software. There's some listed on there, names that you'll recognize: Harvard, Cambridge University, UCLA, University of Michigan, University of Oregon, as well as countless numbers of K through 12. So, we do definitely have the experience to provide a great solution with the hardware that they'll be providing. Any questions on the software? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. As Jason was explaining, the important thing is it's controlling the cost. Where we can free up additional funds for additional teachers or additional programs. With that being said, the next slide breaks down a little bit of the data that we have captured thus far and that we do have. For example, Eastside Elementary, the projected annual investment is about $5,000. But if you look to the right on the chart, the important thing is the annual savings per customer or versus our current cost. I mean, we're estimating, based off of those volumes and what we're going to implement, that we're going to save you over $5,000 for that location alone. The next one is Harold McCormick. Currently, it's $6,700, and the annual savings versus your current cost, we're looking at an additional $5,800 for that location. The Westside Elementary, we're almost at $10,000 additional savings from what you're currently doing. TA Duggar High, same thing. You're $9,700 additional savings. Elizabethton High is just at an additional $90 savings. Elizabethton Central Office, we're at $995. If you can tell, and everybody's looking, well, how in the world can we save that much money? A lot of companies or schools or whatever, they don't have the right software in place. And I'll give you an example. Every place that we have implemented PaperCut, they have had a reduction in cost by a minimum of 20%. And, they got that additional savings. For example, you have users, you may have a church bulletin that they have to print. And they'll do it in-house. And in the past, we haven't had a way of tracking that. For example, let's say that you have, at one school, you set the threshold in the PaperCut that you have 5,000 prints per month, just an easy number. Well, all teachers are not even hitting that except for one. and they're surpassing that threshold, and you have to increase it to 10, 15,000. Well, what's the difference there? It is more manageable and controllable at that point. So, like I was saying, if we're looking at a total annual savings of 32,000 from what you're currently doing based off the numbers that we were provided. There's something that we do that's probably a little bit different than most. Konica Minolta, with their equipment, they have a customer one guarantee. What that means is how many times have we had a machine go down and it sits there broken or whatever, and they come out and they're working on it for 2 or 3 days. Konica Minolta will pull that. It's kind of like a lemon law for a vehicle. We take it a little step further. Instead of you feeling the pain of that, we will bring out a new device and take it back to our shop and let Konica Minolta come in and do the warranty on it. Next is ProTech Certified. Talk a little bit about that. It doesn't matter if I can sit here and say I'm going to save you $32,000 a year, which it does matter, but if I'm not meeting or exceeding your level of expectation on the service side, you're going to look elsewhere. We're in the business to build long-term partnerships, not just for the contractual agreement. We make an investment on our service team. There's only 7 dealers in the Eastern United States that have ProTech certified, and that's out of thousands of dealers, and we're one of them. BizHub security is a big feature as well. That's something we can talk about as far as implementing and adding as well. Document solutions as we grow our business partnership. I heard Corey mention partnership earlier, and that's our whole philosophy. It's all about the partnerships that we have. And again, it's not just for a short term, it is a long term. Again, we do believe as far as Go Green initiative. So what we can do there is that each school, each facility, whatever, will bring out a box, a recycling box. That way that you can control that as well. Our customer service portal, which is pretty big. You can log in here, and as we grow our partnership as well, even if we get into wide format production, as Myra and I have already discussed earlier, they can log in and order media type, whatever you need. Paper, inks for the wide format devices, things of that nature. Digital support service, that's something, basically it's a mini IT department, if you think of it that way. And what we'll do is, as you grow and add additional users, if you have the digital support services added into it, we're your mini IT department, for the print drivers or whatever the case may be. A lot of organizations do have their own IT department, so they push it out across the server. So you can eliminate that, but it is also, a lot of people do add it, because it does help, because they're overworked as it is. Some of the awards and honors that we've been recognized.
Did I understand you classrooms with this paper and the ink?
Yes, ma'am, that is an option. That is an option.
Because they're doing it themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
Or asking the parents to send it.
Yeah, and, well, as what was pointed out here, the $32,000 in savings, that was just based off of your current volumes and what you're currently spending for your inks. What we're recommending is basically looking at your entire footprint. For example, let's say in one school you have 15 printers. Okay, let's look at this and utilize it and look at a user versus device ratio, and then combine it into a larger machine where you save money. Because that one slide, if everybody recalls, it did state, you're spending 5 cents up to 15 cents per black and white copy. And what we're recommending, we're looking at a 0039, which is, it's, it doesn't take long to actually start saving a ton of money that way.
Does your company come around and pick up the boxes of recycled paper?
Yes, ma'am, we can, or you can ship it, either one.
Okay.
It comes with a return shipping label on the box. So, but whatever you want, because we're your partner. If you need us to come by and get it, we'll do that if it's easier.
I'm just curious about your figures for T.A. Duggar on your breakdown per location. Why that is so much less than all the other schools with probably twice the number of students.
T.A. Duggar actually
Oh, okay.
So they have, new machines that we really can't do a lot with right now. So, cost came to, distribute out.
They put people here going out to every classroom to try to inventory what we had, what was usable life, where were we at, what was the approximate expense that we might incur from that. And what we found was that our color copies, where they can do it at .0041, we're spending 17.4 cents on those for what we currently have. Where our black and white copies are around 7 to 8 cents, they can do a .0039. So when we start looking at that cost, and something that's kind of hidden in this too, that means this is all new equipment across the system, and we save the amount of money that we have, an annual savings. There's another hidden something we haven't really talked about is the smaller devices that we currently have. That's going to be an additional savings that we would see over the years coming and moving forward. So we anticipate that the annual savings when we get into it will be somewhere around the $55,000, $56,000 range if we're implementing PaperCut the way that we need to. And that PaperCut software is going to help us monitor and manage what's going on a daily basis. If we have users that obviously have specific needs, we can address that. If we have people that are using too much paper and too much time, those are conversations that we can have with them. But I feel like being able to get brand new equipment across the system in most places, like we said, TA Duggar is a little bit different, and then outfitting us the way that we need to, and possibly having teachers, they may have to step outside their classroom, but they would have that there. And if we look at $35,000 to our school budgets right now for what we're going over and what we have, that's going to be a huge savings. The other thing is toner, service and support, those types of things, are drums, those are big costs for us right now. And those are, from what we're spending on current budgets, they're taking a shot in the dark in some ways to try to limit and look what we have. But what they've offered to do also is this will come next month on a proposal to you all to really look at as a part of them being a vendor that we would take on for the next 5 years. They would help us out of the leases we currently have and make sure that we're ready to move forward with them. So that's included in the cost of what we have and what we're seeing here. So there's no really initial any out-of-pocket that we would have to start and buy in. We had companies come to us with a $100,000 buy-in, if you remember, from a year and a half ago.
So this would be a 5-year agreement. That's
This
my
would be
next
a
question. Okay.
Are we leasing the equipment or purchasing or?
Yes, sir, it would be a lease. So in this day and time, a lot of companies, and what you get into is if you purchase it after 5 years, the service on it skyrockets. And it doesn't matter if you did business with us or whomever it is. Equipment, you can get parts for 7 years after the date it was discontinued. So, and most equipment is out on the market for 2 or 3 years at least before they go into that, let's get a new device out there. So the problem is as it starts aging, the cost of the parts to fix it increases, therefore the cost per copy increases. So most people, they look at a 5-year deal and get new equipment into.
One other thing to say about kind of what we're talking about doing, we would do a phase-in. We still have some usable equipment that has toner that we're not going to waste. We would do a phase-in over a period of time and take out the machines that we have once our supplies are diminished. Mm-hmm. And, we just kind of pieces and parts and move through till we're to a full implementation. But they've been great to work with. I can say that about the company. What they've done, the time they've spent. We've had how many meetings just talking about specific things. And I'll say one last thing that's going to be a help, I think, a savings. Let's say that we have a machine that we've purchased that's really way too big and way too expensive for what we need. PaperCut's going to help us say, is that a machine that we need or not? In that specific area. So it's going to help us look at equipment now and in the future. We may need to beef some things up. We may need to pull back a little bit depending on usage and we'll have numbers for the first time to be able to make decisions. And so anytime we have data to make decisions, it makes more business sense and smarts. So, thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good direction.
What happens to all the equipment that we have right now then?
They're going to help us bundle that up,
Uh-huh.
and we will, I'm not sure if it goes to the graveyard of all copiers and printers, but
Well, if it's equipment you own, what we do is we'll take it and basically scrap it for you. If there's any hard drives that's in there, because for security, proprietary information, anything of that nature, we'll make sure that gets destroyed as well before we even take it to a scrap yard. And as far as it goes to equipment that you're currently leasing, we will get it wrapped for you, make sure that in the time frame that the lease expires, we'll make sure it gets back to the destination it needs to go to for the leasing company. In addition to that, most leasing companies, most companies, it's a third-party lease that you have to deal with. With us, we are the bank. It's our leasing company. So you don't have to worry about where does the machine go at the end. We come and pick it up, and that's the end of it.
Are we presently leasing?
we do. We have lease on just about, we have a few machines that we own, a few, but almost all of them are leased at this point.
And I could piggyback on that as well. And also suggest a lot of schools will, there's like a government site, like Dr. Barnell, where you can bundle them up and sell those, kind of get some of your revenue back. There's with all your students, with their parents, you can say, okay, we have, this equipment that is, still usable, kind of like a yard sale type thing for the students to come in. There's all kinds of ways that you can actually utilize that and bring a little bit of money back into your system too. And we can work with that, with that kind of guys.
If I could add one more thing, there's grants available as far as, like Chromebooks to get for your student population. Something with the paper cut as well, you could actually set it up and track it by user if you ever got to that point. Tablets or whatever, and they print straight from their devices. If you ever get to that point, you can actually utilize the paper cut to track it down to the user, the student.
Wow.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dr. May will be sorry he missed that.
Yes, he will.
This has been his,
It's been his
little
baby.
pet peeve.
it has, and we just kept pushing until we got where we needed to be.
That's
Okay,
great.
Becca?
Okay. I'm Becca Price. I'm the Public Relations Coordinator. I think I know everyone. I want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity, and I'm just going to go over briefly what I've been working on and my goals for the future. Something that we haven't really done in the past is established a communications plan. So what my plan is to do is to gather input from our patrons, from our staff, from our parents, to see what information is important to them and how do they receive information from the school system. We can do that through a survey. I've set up a survey that we could launch in September. That'll be after the hustle and bustle of back to school is over and people are still attuned to what's happening in the schools. What we'll ask them in there is how do they receive information? How would they like to receive info? What are the most important topics to them? And then that way we can gear our communications toward what interests them so that we're not sending out info that they just flip the page, because we want them to pay attention when we have something to say. So other than the survey, we can also set up Google Analytics with our website, which we haven't been doing. Are you guys familiar with that? So that would basically track where are people going on our website. Are there places people are never going? If we're putting sports news under highlights, and anyway, if we have stuff on there that nobody visits, it'll tell us, and then we can know where to put things, know how to reorganize and update our website as well. And a third way that we can get info from our patrons is by doing email analytics. We have principals that send out newsletters to parents, to teachers. Dr. Gardenauer sends out a newsletter. And a lot of that's working really well for everyone, and people expect it, and they know what to expect, and they know what format it's coming in. With some of those, we could clean it up a little and use something like Constant Contact or MailChimp. If you get the Chamber of Commerce email, they use Constant Contact, and it's really, really easy to read. And the best part about that is that they do analytics as well. So they send you a report every week with what did people open and what didn't they open. So that's a really good way for us to see who we're reaching, and primarily for us to set goals and then to meet those goals. Because right now we can't really measure if we're communicating. We know if we're sending out info, but we want to know it's being received. So also, in general, public relations things that I've been doing is writing press releases, working with events, and letting the media know when we have things going on. They've been really helpful and easy to work with. I will also be producing a new resident brochure. That's something we could have at the visitor center, something we could have at the in central office. And that's also going to be a way to compile information like this, like our band's 3 state championships. We can put all that info in one place, update the website with that info so people know why we're awesome. They don't have to dig for it. So, and like Dr. G said, we're doing the Back to School Bash. I've been working with the media on that and also helping some with fundraising. So I think that's going really well. We all hope. We're also planning some events for the school year, like a brown bag lunch, where we'll bring parents to central office, probably just kind of a bring your lunch and hang out with the director, get some updates, and then ask questions. So maybe we can draw more people in that way. That's Dr. G's idea, but you can thank me if it works well, I guess. So I don't know. Social media, we've got that on the agenda. We probably need to do a workshop. That's my thought, because I sent you all a little bit of info about that. It was long and boring looking, so you may not have read it, but a lot of schools some have done really well with the policy, and some have gotten a lot of flack over their policy, so we really want to not be overbroad. But we also do want people to understand that they represent the district. So eventually we'll have social media up, hopefully soon. Hopefully have a district Facebook page by school starting. That's kind of my goal. And last 2 things, branding. Kayla had the ball rolling with that. An important thing I wanted to mention with that is branding isn't just us replacing or updating our logo. Branding is, our brand is our personality. So that's how we answer the phone. Do we respond to people? Are we helpful when we deal with people? You know, how do they interact with teachers when parents visit? So overall, we need to implement, just kind of communicate with our people internally, the importance of that, so that when people see our students, when they see our programs and our facilities, they see success. So the logo just represents that. So I'll be showing you some examples, hopefully next month maybe, of that. Last thing is Kid Scoop News. This is a newspaper that the Johnson City Press will publish for us for free. It's something that every month could go to each of the students in the elementary schools just during the school year, obviously. It's pretty cool. It's like educational activities and things like that. The cool thing about this is it's customizable, so we can put our school calendar, our school menus, a letter from the director in here, and they also do a featured school every month. So I have a couple copies of these from North Carolina schools if y'all would like to see those. We thought that was a good idea, so anyhow. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Is that part of NIE, Newspapers and Education?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe. It is a newspaper in education.
Right.
I'll find out.
That's all right. I just wondered if it was part of that program.
Do you guys want me to pass these around, or do you want to see them at all?
Sure.
Yeah, because then nobody will pay attention to what's going on in the rest of the board meeting. I know everybody up here. Sure, give them some.
She's going to
Any other
Okay.
questions, anything?
Dr. Gardner, you've made a good choice here
Yep.
in your PR
We-
direction. She's
we
going to do a
definitely-
great, these are great ideas. That's exciting.
Yeah, tracking the emails and who's opening it, what they're opening, I mean, that is what our office lives and dies by at work, and it makes a huge difference because you're either, you're not spinning your wheels on something nobody's paying attention to, you know what matters and helps you target people, so I'm glad we're gonna look at that, that's gonna be really helpful.
And Rebecca, FYI, I'm not receiving anything from you. So, just,
Anything else?
Thank you.
Do you have any reports from board members? Well, I just want to mention that the board has concluded evaluating Dr. Gardenauer's evaluations. I was hoping to put everything together in a document, which I will do this week. I got a couple of them just recently, haven't had a chance to do that, so I will compile all the data, and I will make sure that Mrs. Perkins passes that out. Overall, very good evaluation for Dr. Gardauer. Thank you very much. I know that first year is the toughest, and so just wanted you guys to know that he had an excellent evaluation from the board. So, yay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
you're
on that.
being very kind to not say that several of us were delinquent in getting our work done. Not to mention Phil.
Here we go again.
Yes, but Phil looks nice, so he gets a pass.
He wears a tie, so he
Got
gets
a
a
tie,
pass.
yes. And since Dr. May isn't here to defend himself, I just got his today, so.
I feel better.
Yeah, I told you.
I
you
feel
were-
a lot better now.
You were the, Susan won the day, but you did very well. All right, how about we tackle this regular agenda? Okay. First item on the agenda is approved fee payment of $1,600 to Niswonger Foundation's College and Career Consortium per the previously approved memorandum of understanding, which is effective until June 30, 2020. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second?
This is just an annual maintenance for us, maintenance fee for our children to be able to have access to the classes that they provide, and they can pay for seats and have access to a lot of the things we do not provide, Mandarin Chinese and German and other things. So it's a help to us, and they also provide a lot for our school system, probably over $500,000 in the last 10 years. So we'll pay our $1,600 and say thank you.
$1,600, yeah. Anybody have any questions or comments on this? All right. Item on the floor, approved fee payment of $1,600 to Niswonger Foundation College and Career Consortium per the previously approved memorandum of understanding, which is effective until June 30, 2020. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. All right, sit back and look at the little newspapers while I read off 8 through 15. Okay, so I'm just going to read them all at once, and I'll only read them once. Item number 8 is approved renewal of bid 2014-2015-01 SN for bread and bakery products from Flowers Baking Company for the period July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017. Item number 9 is approved renewal of bid 2014-2015-02-SN for milk and ice cream products from Mayfield Dairy for the period July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017. Next is approved renewal of bid 2014-2015-03-SN for the purchase of food products from Cisco Knoxville for the period July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017. Next is approved renewal of bid 2014-2015-04-SN for the purchase of miscellaneous cafeteria supplies for Summers Hardware for the period July 1, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. Next is approved renewal of bid 2014-2015-04-SN for the purchase of miscellaneous cafeteria supplies from Cisco Knoxville for the bid period July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017. Next is approved renewal of bid 2014-2015-05-SN for the purchase of fresh produce from Cisco Knoxville for the period July 1, 2016 through June 30, 2017. Next is approve the recommended price increases for the 2016-2017 school year at Elizabethton High School from $250 to $255. Junior high pricing will remain the same. elementary schools and early learning center will participate in the community eligibility program with no charge for meals. And the final in this particular grouping together will be approve the agreement to administer the school nutrition program, the policy statement for providing free and reduced price meals to students, the local agricultural products compliance plan, and the civil rights compliance procedures. Can I get a motion to approve?
Could you repeat that?
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Susan, thank you. And yes, I'll call you later.
Good job.
You want it, number 16?
Yeah.
Okay, can I add number 16 in there? Which would be our agricultural products compliance plan and the civil rights compliance procedures for the 2016-2017 school year. Can I have a motion to approve? We'll add that in there. Do we need
So
to-
moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All righty. Questions, comments?
What is the community eligibility program?
Okay, the community eligibility program allows us to provide meals for our students free of charge at our elementary schools.
Is that a federal?
Mm-hmm, sure is. Based on how we look overall, we apply for that, and that's, we've received that. How many years has that been, Ms. Wilson? 2 years.
Wow, that's
That's-
great.
that's
That's great.
fantastic.
I didn't realize that was.
It's been great. Lamar Smith, many years ago, introduced that when he was in food service, so that was something that we may need to look at, and we took it from there. Miss Wilson and Miss Williams worked on that, so it has been a big help to a lot of families.
Right.
Any other questions or comments? All right, item on the floor is items 8 through 16. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next is approved purchase of computers from Dell in the amount of $681.84 to be utilized by the CTE department at Elizabethton High School. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Are these new ones or replacing others?
I believe these were on a lease. They've moved some of them.
Mhm.
Mr. Lancaster, you've moved those. Those are new computers, but they're replacing existing computers, correct?
How old's very old? Ballpark, I just got of kidding.
The computers, that's pretty old.
I
yeah.
know. Anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, approve, item on the floor is to approve purchase of computers from Dell in the amount of $18,681.84 to be utilized by the CTE department at Elizabethton High School. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, approve first reading of board policy 5.608, social media as proposed. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Yeah, this is, we've looked and postponed this several times, so I noticed it has gotten much smaller.
As we looked at some of the feedback that we had from all of you, looking at that, and this is first reading, so if there's anything that you see that we need to look at or discuss, it's great, and then we will take that back and we can work on it again if need be, whatever the board's pleasure will be.
Is Jackson, Shields, Yiser, and Holt our attorney firm?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, in a lot of districts, this is very new territory, and there's a lot of vague language in here,
Yeah.
like lawyer language, like where feasible and things like that. I think this is going to probably be evolving as situations come up, because it's just such murky territory.
It is. I think that based on situations we've had in the past and what we've worked on, this does cover some of those things, but still there will be interpretation. We'll have to work together, like you said, over a period of time to try to, hone it to make it say what we really want it to say. And sometimes we're talking about social media and it's evolving at a pace that it's hard for us to keep up with. We're looking at what's here today, and it will be obsolete in 2 years completely. And so I think it will be one that we have to revisit time and time again and update.
Are we dealing with a lot of social media issues at the schools?
There's a couple answers to that. I'd say
That's a vague question, I know.
it's okay. I think it's fair. I think, number one, we have done a lot to lock down how we're using social media, which at specifically at school. We're not allowing students to do a lot of things that they would normally do at home. And part of that is to help our overall program. We have an open server. We're not allowing them to go and do a lot of work on there with that, bring viruses and things like that in through social media. But we have had employees make some mistakes that way. We've dealt with some of that, and I've shared a lot of those types of things with you. And it's hard for us to police the internet and what happens outside, but we have to look at what's germane to what we're doing on a daily basis, how it's impacting our community and students, and really try to focus it down to what's there. And every situation is different. Right now we have nothing to draw from to really enforce anything on, where we are. We're not looking to be overly involved to the point that we are policing everything, but we also want to have some standards that we kind of draw from the same book.
Do we self-monitor, are we monitoring ourselves, or are we using someone to do the state used to monitor everything, but.
ENA is our provider.
We're using ENA, okay.
Yeah, they're our provider.
So I'm guessing when we sort of get this policy to something we're comfortable with, it's going to be a lot of, talking to teachers and our faculty and our staff and kind of helping everyone to understand. I will say, for the most part, I have noticed that most teachers are very careful that they are not friends with students on Facebook while they're students. And I know we have a lot of teachers who are very aware of the dangers. I think a lot of the issue is for our younger teachers. This is just part of their world, and having to separate that out is going to kind of take a little explaining why, and because this is just the world that they live in, and everything is, you think it, and you post it.
And this is first reading.
First reading.
It's got to come back next month.
Right.
I'm with Susan. I read through it. I'm not sure I understood it. Very vague. But
Well, we also.
I think that's intentional.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't a whole lot of precedent.
That's bottom line.
Well,
And
So
I agree with you.
it's tough to write something like this when you have so little precedent.
But we do have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
And I think too,
Yeah.
we have our leadership retreat. Miss Owen will be here on the 29th. I think that's a time that even if we look at second reading next month, have another discussion. Dr. May will be here at that point, and we all can talk about that. It's okay to table that and sit down with her and talk with her about, why is the language this way? Help us understand with some examples of what they've seen in case law in different issues that people are currently having in other places. Our attorneys represent many school systems, so their attempt to put something together for us to get started was based on some things that they've had to deal with too, with their other clients and us. So I think it's a good starting point.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of tabling it, but maybe can we postpone a second reading till after she is here?
Absolutely.
She will be here the 29th of July. That's correct.
Yeah.
And get administrative input to me is critical on this one.
I
Because
agree.
they're the ones who are going to deal with this.
Well, and even after we, adopt it, we can always come back and tweak it, and which I'm guessing this one will rear its little head
I'd say you're right.
often.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a good starting point, as vague as it is. Any other questions or comments? All right. Item on the floor is to approve first reading of Board Policy 5.608, social media as proposed. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We had one other addition that Ms. Perkins left for us. Number 19 is approve agreement between Reading and Writing Project Network and Elizabethton City Schools for professional development services on August 4, 2016 at a cost of $7,000. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second?
Thank you.
This will be the Lucy Calkins training that we have been talking about for teachers to come and be a part of.
This is for the whole staff, not just for the,
Mhm.
okay.
Sure is. Particularly for our language arts people.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Item on the floor is approve agreement between Reading and Writing Project Network and Elizabethton City Schools for professional development services on August 4, 2016 at a cost of $7,000. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Next regularly scheduled board meeting will be Tuesday, July 19th, 2016, 6:30 here in the Mac Pierce Boardroom. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Should we get Phil's picture first?
Oh, and we will do pictures next month because
You didn't tell me?
I sent out a text.
Oh, Lordy.
Phil, you look so nice. I'm looking forward to next month. Can I get?
I still don't know what bibs and whatever means.
Yeah, we're gonna have to explain it.
The meeting
Yes.
will be archived video, so I mean, we.
There
do
we have it forever, forever. And just for the record, Ms. Perkins sent out an email that said, "Wear your bibs and your what?"
I told them where their Sunday bib and tucker.
Yes, yes. And Ms. Peters has no idea what we're talking about.
No, she doesn't, does she?
Just a Yankee, what are you gonna
Oh, can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Yes,
Second.
thank you.
do? So nobody's gonna tell me what a tucker